Okay, let me just stop for a second before we fight this boss. So I just have a moment to explain myself on why I'm getting so upset. We went through this game, okay? The last, let's say, since Friday, right? Probably about Friday. We went through this whole base game, right? And sure, I've beaten the Liza P multiple times. And even then, I wasn't getting upset with any boss fights because I feel like they were well balanced, well organized, and you actually had a chance at beating them. Some of them were extremely hard, don't get me wrong. Not nearly as hard as this boss. Some of them were pretty hard. But here's the thing. When you are playing the base game, you never feel like a boss is impossible. You can absolutely feel like, dude, this boss sucks. It is so hard. But you never feel like it's impossible. This boss right here, I'm dumping my weight down to make sure, like, okay, let's hope that this fills this up a little faster, right? Because it never stops attacking. It never stops attacking. And sure, if you get a perfect parry, you don't take any damage, but you do still use stamina. And it doesn't matter if you're not taking any damage. If you don't have stamina, you can't do damage. Everything revolves around stamina in this game. Any Souls-like game, anybody that plays a Souls-like game or a Souls game knows stamina is your most important resource. Health, whatever. You die, you die. You know what I mean? There's health things, whether you're drinking a flask or, using a blood vial, whatever. Health is health. But if you don't have stamina, you can't evade, you can't attack, you are stuck. And that is what this boss is doing. And that is so cheap when it comes to making something difficult. Because if you're just saying, hey, this boss is hard because it's killing your stamina and you can't hit it. Ha ha ha, this boss is hard. That is not a good boss mechanic. That is saying, we just want to see you struggle. That's what you should never do when you're creating a game for players. Just like when you're playing D&D, you shouldn't play with somebody that is a GM or a DM, whichever you want to call them, that is out to try to kill the party. You should have difficult encounters, you should have difficult bosses, but you shouldn't have it where you want it to be almost impossible. People don't have fun when you make something impossible. Obviously, it's achievable, but it is overly hard for when they give you this DLC. They want you to start this DLC at the start of Act 10. Okay? We beat the game. We beat the game. Okay? We're above the level. We have items that are above the level they want you to start this in. And it is still so hard that it is almost impossible to get through. That is not good gameplay. That is not good game design. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.